Hello, dear student. Myself, Suchita Bidwe, and I am working as assistant professor at KTHM College, Nasik, in Department of Botany. I welcome you all in our certificate course in Ethanobotany, which is considered under the stride. Today, we are going to start with the role of ethnobotany. And specifically, today we are going to focus on medico ethnobotanical sources of India. Today's agenda for this session is to understand definition and concept of ethnobotany. We are going to see sources of Indian methanobotany. Then we are going to see different sources like literature, folk medicines, traditional Indian system of medicine. Learning objectives of today's session to understand concept of ethnobotany and to understand the medico-ethnobotanical sources of India. Today, we know that nature is always stand as a golden mark and it is important to explain a symbiosis between abiotic and biotic factors of the nature. We know nature consists with biotic factors like living organism and abiotic factors like various nutrients, air, water, etc. And these two factors were always working hand in hand symbiotically and they are consisting of a whole system, whole life. Okay, then along with that, this nature is fulfilling our all the necessities like food, clothing, shelter. These are the basic necessities of the all living organism. And this nature is acting as storehouse for the different remedies which are important for the human being. From recent ancient years, it was well known that knowledge of plant is very important to cure various diseases in human being. Along with human being, the animals were also familiar to plant-based remedies and the such an interaction of living organism, specifically of human being along with plants in order to find plant as a remedy is important and it is forming a background, a platform for the ethnobotany. Ethnobotany is study of how people of a particular culture and region make use of plants which are present around us. The science is specifically focused on the plant which are present around us and how we are utilizing plants or parts of plant as a remedy to cure various diseases or for welfare of the human being. In 1969, J.W. Hirschberger first time introduced the term ethnobotany. He explained ethnobotany is study of useful plants prior to commercial exploitation and even domestication. Here, two words are very important that is commercial exploitation and eventful domestication. Means this science is considered along with the human civilization, or we can say it is considered before civilization of human. It is a very old science which is proceeded or it is developed along with the human civilization. In ancient day also, the human beings were utilizing herbal products or the plants as a medicine in various parts of the world. Even before Christ, there are reports which were saying that in India, in China, in Egypt, in Greece, there was a developed science of medicines and in which the scientists or physicians were using plants as a remedy. They are using plant or plant product as a remedy to cure various diseases. The Papyrus Eber is the most oldest surviving remnant of the literature, or it is the most oldest literature which is present for the ethnobotany. It was written before Christ in 16th century. This plant-based literature having presence of 800 formulas with 700 different drugs. When we talk about the most oldest document, it was again reported from the China 3000 years before Christ, and it was written by Pen Tissot, and he was an emperor, plus he was a, physician who was interested in medicinal plant. He was written at least 365 drugs, and he formulated different formulas, and he worked on that. Like China and like other parts of the world, India was also a very large or very great contributor of this ethnobotanical literature. We'll start with medico-ethnobotanical sources of India. First, we'll see what is medico-ethnobotany. Medico-ethnobotany refers to use of plant or parts of the plant for remedy in order to cure the various diseases. When we apply plant or part of the plant for health cure system or in order to cure our health, that is known as medico-ethnobotanical sources. Now, when we talk about the medico-ethnobotanical sources in ancient India, it is always a indigenous plant. Okay, the plants which is present in periphery, in surrounding to people were always preferring to use that plant as a medicine in order to cure the various diseases, and therefore the plants are always indigenous in nature. The plants which are mentioned in ethnobotanical literature were always indigenous in nature. Now, when we talk about the major medico-ethnobotanical sources of India, these are literature, folk system, and traditional Indian system of medicines. Now, we'll see one by one. Now, when we talk about the Indian sources as a literature, India is a most oldest contributor of medico-ethnobotanical sources. Now, when we dated these literatures, these are dated up to the 4500 to 1600 before Christ, and these ancient Indian scripts like Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads are acting as the most oldest source of the literature or information. Atharva Veda is considered as most oldest encyclopedia that was always preferred by physician in order to cure the various diseases. Now, everybody is familiar with the two names, Charak and Sushruta. These two were considered as the heroes or the creator of the ancient Indian literature of the ethnobotany. They have they have worked independently, and they have documented near about 2000 species of different herbs, and they have formulated various drugs in their literature. We'll see first about for the Charka. He first time reported more than 1106 plant, and he classified these plants in 15 different groups. In each group, he took at least 10 herb, and he described different formulas of using that herbs. And he wrote a literature named as Charak Samhita, and it was reported in 1000 to 800, dated 1000 to 800 years before Christ. Then Sushrut, he wrote his literature in Sushrut Samhita, and he reported 1270 plants with 760 different formulation. He divided 7 different sets of the plant, and he classified plant depending upon the common properties of the plant. He wrote his literature 800 to 700 year before Christ. When we talk about the first systematic record of the Indian medicinal literature, it was first time written by uh, Gracia de Oreta in 1565, and it was considered as first systematic record of Indian ethnobotany, and he was a physician and governor of Goa, and he classified the plant, and he collectively rotated the uh, plants and its description for the drug. Then in 1799, John first time prepared a list of Indian indigenous drug and noted as botanical observation on select plants. And he took a selected plants which are indigenous to India, and he was explained the different formulas for the preparation of different preparation for the Indian medicines. Then recently in 19th century there was a milestone work for the Indian pharmacognosy and ethanobotany. The Materia Medica of Hindustan was written by Anise in 1813, and the Materia Medica of Western India was written by Dr. Dimak in 1863. Pharmacopoeia of India was written by Waring in 1868, and supplement to the Pharmacopoeia of India was written by Dr. Muhyiddin Sarif in 1869. In 19th century, these were contributed to form a literature of Indian ethnobotany. In 20th century, the milestone work was did by Chopra in 1933, and he wrote Indigenous Drugs of India. He collected and classified, and he uh, rotated the different construction of drugs and utilization of Indian herbs as a drug. Then in 1981, Jain wrote a glimpse of Indian ethnobotany, and then in 1982, cultivation and utilization of medicinal plants was reported by Atal. In 1986, Dhawan reported the current research on medicinal plants. In 1991, Jane and D. Phillips again collectively contribute to form a medicinal plants of India. In 1991, S.K. Jain again he wrote and published a book known as Dictionary of Indian Folk Medicines and Ethnobotany, and nowadays it was considered as most useful literature for the Indian ethnobotany, and it is very useful source of medico-ethnobotanical literature. Now, when we are talk about the sources of Indian ethnobotanical knowledge, then the second most important source of the knowledge is tribal or folk medicine. These medicines or this system of medicine is specifically depend upon the area. This system is changing from area to area. This is area specific, it is region specific, it is religion specific, and it is very specific to specific community, as well as the herbs, the plants which are present around the people. And therefore, this system is mainly consist with the indigenous herb which are present around them. This system has no specific documentation, but it is passed from one generation to another generation by people to each other. This system is considered as one of the oldest system of medicinal science in the India, and it is always passed from one generation to next generation. Now, when we talking about the Indian systems of the medicine, it is considered as the third most important source of medico-ethnobotany. When we talk about the traditional Indian system of medicines, the three important systems where always come in front of us are Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani. Now, when we talk, everybody is familiar with this picture. There are some plants, there are some powders, and there is a mortar and pestle, there are some preparation. Okay, these all things were coming under the Ayurveda. Ayurveda is most ancient ancient medicinal science and it is considered as oldest system. This system of medicine was accepted and noted by whole world. Whole world is utilizing the database of the Ayurveda for the formulation of new novel medicines which are important for the today's era. This system of ethnobotanical Ayurveda is mainly hypothesized on the one basic hypothesis. This hypothesis says that universe is composed with the five basic elements and it is considering these five basic elements as a base of the every living organism, and these five basic elements are space, air, energy, liquid and solid. These five basic elements were exist in the human body in combined form, and combinedly they are forming three different pillars of the life. They are vata. This vata is prepared with the space and air. Pitta, it is prepared with the energy and liquid. Kapha, it is prepared with liquid and solid. Collectively, they are referred as a three dosha, and these three dosha are forming a pillar of the life. These three dosha are combined and collectively work to forming Saptadhatu of human being. These Saptadhatu are rasa, that is lymph. Lymph, it is nothing but the fluid which is flowing inside our body. Then rakta, that is blood. Then meda, adipose tissue. Adipose tissue, these are the fatty substances which are present in our body. Then mansa, that is flesh. Majja, that is nervous system. Then shukra, that is reproductive system, and most importantly asthidhatu, which is nothing but the bone, which is explaining our bone. Pairing and tearing of all these saptadhatu where leads to formation of mala, which is nothing but the excretory system, and collectively these three dosha, saptadhatu and mala were forming a equilibrium in a body, and if they are present in equilibrium in the body of human being, it leads to healthy life of the human being. This science or this Ayurvedic system again considering the use of a medicinal plant to maintain a balance between three dosha, saptadhatu and the mala, and for preparing or for maintaining the equilibrium between this plant, they were considering that this plant having five important characters, and these five important characters can be used pathologically to cure the diseases of the human being. And within this character, the five important characters, first one is rasa, that is the main component active principle which is present in the plant. Guna means the characters of the plant. Virya, the liquid or the formulation which was prepared and it is a energy giving thing. Then vipak again it is a preparation by using various plants, and the prabhava it's the result. These five characters, that is rasa, guna, virya, vipak and prabhava, are applied to pathological condition in order to cure the disorders in the human being, and it were used to give a healthy life to the human being. A number of doses can be formulated by using the herbal plants in the Ayurvedic system, and these doses having specific name in the Ayurvedic system, like churna. Churna, it is a powder which is prepared by the using many herbs. Then grita, it is a use of ghee along with medicinal herb. Then chavanprash, it is a semi-solid preparation which is prepared by using polyherbal formula. Then sadhana, there are various treatment by using plant in the Ayurvedic system. Then kalpa and bhasma. Again, bhasma is a kalpa and bhasma are the powder. Sorry, kalpa are the Semi-solid form, which are prepared by using a polyherbal formula, and basma are the resulted by using a mixture of various different powders. And these doses were formulated in order to cure the various diseases in the human being. The very well-known herbs which are commonly used in Ayurvedic preparations are Rauwolfia serpentina, Asparagus racemosus, Gloriosa superba, Trabulus terrestris, Phyllanthus imblica. Along with that, we know there are many plants to our periphery which are used in medicine. And these all are collectively forming a Ayurvedic system of the Indian medicines, and it is serving as a source of the medico ethnobotany. The second system of Indian medicinal system is Siddha. This system was mainly originated in Tamil Nadu, or it is also referred as a Tamil system of medicine. It is dated back to 10,000 to 4,000 years before Christ, and Siddha means the perfect. The system is perfect, having a perfect diagnosis and perfect medicinal remedy. This system is explaining use of more than 1300 plants for the curing various diseases in the human being. This system is mainly based upon three main elements, that is the utilization of plant in the form of herb. This system is also utilizing inorganic substances, and this system is also using animal product for the treatment of the patient. And based upon that, there are again three sections of this Siddha. First section is Thavaram. Thavaram is utilization of herbal substances as a medicine. Then Dhatu, it is a utilization of inorganic substances as a remedy, and Jangaman is a use of animal product to cure the various diseases of the human being. Along with this, Ayurveda and Siddha, the third most popular system of Indian medicine is Unani System of medicine. This system is basically originated in the Greece, and it was introduced by Arab into the India. This system having root to literature of Hippocrates. Hippocrates, he is a Greek philosopher, and he wrote a utilization of plant dated as a 384 to 322 before Christ. And Aristotle Golden, a father of natural history, is again considered as a pioneer of this system of the medicine. This system of medicine is basically originated into the Greek, in the specifically in the Persian, that is in Iranic region, and it was improved and developed by Arabian physicians. And this system is aimed to disease, not to the symptoms of the disease. Okay, it has ability to take history of patient, and they are examining the patient based upon the pulse, urine and stool of the patient, and based upon that they are preparing the polyherbal formulation, and which was used as a medicine to cure the disease. There are different names of medicines in this system, like Arak medicines, then Greco-Arab medicines, Lonium medicines, Islamic medicines, and Oriental medicines. Based upon the uses and origin of the plant, they have differently classified medicines in these different categories. Finally, we'll reach towards the summary of lecture. In this lecture, we have studied definition and concept of ethanobotany. We have studied the sources of Indian MEDICO-ethanobotany, and we have studied different literature which was originated into the India as well as in the world. We have studied the folk medicine system, and we have studied traditional Indian system of medicine. Within that, we have studied Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani system of Indian medicines. In next lecture, we are going to see the medico-ethnobotanical significance of Gloriosa superba and Tribulus terrestris. So thank you. If you have any question, you can catch me at my mail or you can ask at our Google Classroom. Thank you.